ice. Do it like popcorn, everything nice. Whoa.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Hammers Fans United. We've had a little break, obviously. I'm joined by a very special guest in Budgie, aka Clive, aka Mr. West Ham Random. We're gonna wait, just a couple minutes to see who else joins, Budge. But let me just go to the comments. Right, so the Sabres, hi everyone. One sec, let me put this up. How did you think that you've played tonight? And then Ed's response was very well considering the level they were playing at, but obviously their inexperience showed. I wasn't able to see individual players too well because the screen kept freezing. Ed says, did any of them stand out to you? Was Perkins on form? I won't ask you yet, Budge, because I want to, when we actually get into the ratings.
Yeah, okay.
I thought they made some of the senior players look bad. So yeah, we'll just wait a few minutes, Budge. Who's that?
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, very underwhelming performance for me.
Perhaps you could play a little trailer or something while we're waiting for a few people.
All right, what we got in here? What we got? Let me see. And thanks whoever has actually tuned in. Appreciate it as always. The Jack Grealish one is too long. That's like 5 minutes. What we got a short? I'll just play a little bit of me v expressions. I won't play all of it. This was when our second goal against Spurs went to VAR when Lingard scored, and then we done the boy band celebration. Let me play.
Okay.
You're in bad. Man, not even a hole in go. Oh, look how easy it is.
Please be on side. Please be on side. Please be on side. Please be on side.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Please be on side.
Of course, blood.
Oh, fucking he's offside, man.
I'm done out here, blood.
Fuck's sake.
You offside? Ah, you pussy! Wakanda forever! Yeah? Wakanda, yeah? Wakanda, your blood clot, yeah? You pussy, you custard cream, yeah? I'm Wakanda, your blood clot, yeah? Hold that, fam. Hold that, blood. What you on, blood? What you on, blood? Pussy! Pussy!
Get out of it, man. Fuck off. That's not offside, man. Don't even piss me off. Seriously.
What do you mean check?
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, look, it's not even guaranteed offside.
What are you talking about?
It's not even guaranteed offside. It's not even guaranteed offside. It's not even guaranteed offside.
What's the way? I don't.
Please, blood.
What are you talking about?
Please, blood. Please, blood. Please.
What are you talking about?
Please be offside.
Get out of it, man. Don't even try that shit. Seriously, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. If they disallow this goal. If they disallow this goal. Pull that back, man.
I don't know, blood. Just be offside, bruv. Please be offside. Please.
Don't even, no. Seriously.
Please, bruv.
What are you running back?
Show me the replays and just tell me it's offside. Please be offside, blood. Please. Please.
Don't piss me off. Get in there! Fucking.
You know what? One sec, you're muted, Budge. You're muted.
My bad, because I was coughing.
Yeah.
I love the other guy's reaction to the when he falls off the chair.
Yeah, that is fucking hilarious.
Crazy.
You know what the funny thing is, though? It just shows as football fans, we are a bit crazy because I'm talking to the TV like, what the fuck are you showing? Yeah, and he's doing the same thing. We're actually talking to the TV, which, if you think about it, is a bit loopy.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've read that. Disabled team.
You know, I can actually understand now why my daughter calls me vain.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here looking at the screen with you and I on it on my phone while we're, chatting. I've got the laptop running with YouTube running, watching it, and I've got the TV running on a different
definitely vain
account, watching it as well. So yeah, there's a bit of vanity there, I think.
Ed says, evening, Budgie.
Good evening, Ed.
And thanks for, retuning in, Ed, and Disabled Team, and Luke, and whoever else is here. I know you guys was here. Evening, ladies, says Luke. Oi, Luke, says Ed. And Luke says we want Budgie.
You got me tonight. You got me.
Right,
mate.
there's 6 people in the chat, you lot, and you know I don't want to take up too much of anybody's time, so we will just get straight into this. Let me
Okay.
We'll go straight into the starting team for tonight, and Budgies. Let me remove that background because it's a bit too much in it. Let me get rid of that. Right, that's better. And then let me add this one. There we go. Right, so Budgie, ratings for Areola and why, please.
Okay, so Areola, I thought came on, looked confident, looked strong. I thought he had a really good game. There was bugger all he could do about that goal. He had it pretty well covered without that slight deflection off of Fornells. So
Yep.
I've given him an 8
Okay, let me
for that.
put that up. 8 out of 10.
Okay. So just a quick question before we get any further in. Are we giving any 0.5s or is it
You
all
can
round
do.
numbers?
Yeah, no, you can do.
Okay,
That's,
cool.
that's definitely
Okay, cool.
fine. Who started
Okay.
that? Charlie Walsh started that, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, okay. So I'm following in the footsteps of a legend then, eh?
Yeah. Right. Roy. Good evening, Roy. Once again. Hammerhead.
Good evening, right?
Even in chat,
Hammerhead.
I'm proud of the young lads tonight. 1-0 is a respectable score. 2-0. It is. And, you know, it was early in the game as well. So, right. So, you lot, can you please give me your ratings for Areola? Because, you know, this is about everybody getting involved if they want to. Budgie's giving him an 8 out of 10. Roy is giving him a 7.5. Yeah, I don't think he had much chance with that goal. And other than that, you know, he did do well. They are good opposition. They've got, you know.
He pulled off a couple of handsome saves as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I know that phrase has probably died out in the 70s, but you know, I mean, like a couple of the saves that he pulled off were, you know, cat-like. You know, and
yeah.
it was just.
And he's gonna say cat. Yeah.
You know, and that's why you know I think an 8 is fair. A 7.5 was fair enough.
Yeah. Sorry.
Josiah Green.
Yeah, because I haven't seen Josiah for long, man. So that's why I'm like, yeah.
6
Josiah.
out of 10.
Right, let me
6
just do.
out of 10.
So Disabled Team says 7. Ed says 7.
Yeah.
Josiah gave him a 6. Now, Josiah, good evening, man. I haven't heard from you for a long time, man. So, you know, I'm glad to see you, you know, still here and around and all that. And thank you for tuning in. And thank you for giving your rating. Danny wasn't able to watch the whole match, so I can't rate anyone. Curious to know what you guys think, though. Yeah, that's a good point, Danny. Right, Hammerhead, have you got a score for Areola? And then we'll move on to it was a very interesting back line, and this is where I'm very intrigued as to Budgie's rating. So Hammerhead, if you can, and you can do it, you know, a little bit later, while I'll find the next player. 1 second. Boom. Right.
So are we doing man of the match separately from any of the ratings, or?
I mean, you can do that. Like, you know, when you give your
match as we go along.
As you go along, yeah, you can do that.
As we go along. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when you get to that player, right? Let me.
When I get to that player, yeah.
Because this is now. I've got to find these. Right. Here we go. So right. Starting at right back was Harrison Ashby. Let me remove your previous score. 20-year-old Scottish right back, Budgie. His rating and your thoughts. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in as well. There's 10 people watching. Thank you. Yeah, what are you saying on Ashby?
Okay, so for me, Harrison Ashby gets a solid 8.5. I thought he really gave a good account of himself. In fact, better than good. I'd say give himself an excellent chance of future appearances. I felt that he was strong in defence. He was quick getting back. He was quick getting forward. 1 or 2 lovely pinpoint crosses. Absolutely, you know, a stellar display from the young lad. You know, and that 8.5 could quite easily have been a 9 had one of his crosses had resulted in a goal.
Yep.
So, but I mean, I know it sort of seems a little bit unfair to, to take half a point away from a player because one of his crosses didn't come up as a goal. But, in fairness, the guy's a young lad. He was finding his feet for the first 5 or 10 minutes, even though while he was finding his feet, he wasn't actually looking risky. He was, I felt he was just, what's the word? When you do the repetitive training on something, muscle memory. I think his first 10 minutes he was playing kind of on muscle memory. But then as he got into the game, he really flowed and he started producing, well, I'm actually going to give him my man of the match because for me, I felt that Harrison Ashby gave a man of the match performance, a real good account of himself, and an 8.5, my highest rating of the day.
Okay, so 8.5 and man of the match for Harrison Ashby, who, I think he had a decent game. There was one mistake where he went up for the ball with Elise, I think, and he flicked it on towards our own goal, and they pounced on it, and Areola was quick off the line. But like I said, during the match, there's going to be mistakes from youngsters, and that's the type of game that you kind of, you can oversee them because of the nature of the game. So I wouldn't. That's not criticism. That's just an observation. Peach says yes. Budgie uncage. Danny says yes. Peach. Hi everyone, disabled team. Big up yourself. Danny's in the building. So you lot, what's your rating on Harrison Ashby? Okay, Josiah said yes. Josiah says 9 out of 10. You know what? I'm glad you're here, Josiah. I haven't seen you for long, man, or heard from you.
I can understand why he's given that. As I said, the only reason I penalised him half a point was because, he didn't produce a goal with didn't produce an assist. That's the only reason. Otherwise, it was a 9 out of 10 performance for me as well. So, I agree with you there, mate.
Danny, the youngsters are brilliant. They scored a worldie. Apart from Areola and Fornos, the older players needed to pull the socks up. Yeah. West Ham, hope Luke, what you were, fella. The youth look great in the minutes I got to see. Luke, glad they got the chance today. Yeah, they've seven players, in total. I know some of them made appearances quite late in the game, but that's not bad going. Boom. Josiah says, "What's your?" You know what? I've never ever used Twitter, Josiah, but I do have Instagram. It's Hammers Fans United. I don't use that a lot, but now I'm gonna try and just put a little bit more on there. So Instagram is Hammers Fans United. I don't have Twitter yet. Ashby, one for the future from Roy. Danny made the kids were not the problem tonight. That's from Luke. Did we got any more ratings for him? I know Luke gave him. Okay, we have. Peach, nice, Luke, freaky Peach. Stuff like that. Right, disabled team says 8 out of 10. Roy says hi, Peach. Roy says 9 out of 10. So he agrees with Josiah and almost Budgie somewhat. And Robert, how you doing, Robert? Joint man of the match for me, Ashby, Longolo, and Elise. So he's given all joint man of the match. Epic hash time. Noble was the how you doing, you lot? All of you. And what's Pete say? Yes, Robbie, good shout.
Come on, Pete, you haven't rated Areola or Ashby. So
right,
let me
do it in together, Pete, because I'm going to move on to... Right, let me remove this. Thank you for you lot's input as well. Brand. So now we're going to go to... It was Jamal Baptiste was playing as the right centre-back. 18-year-old. Was he 17? No, I think he's 18. What are you saying about him, Budgie?
Jamal Baptiste. Well, he didn't give a bad account of himself at all either. And he does look like one for the future. I felt that he was quite strong in some of his challenges and stuff. He doesn't look like a snowflake by any chance, any stretch. I've only gave him a 7.5. Purely because there was nothing really dynamic about him. Mm-hmm. Although he had a good game, he didn't, he didn't cause us any real cause for concern. Yeah, a 7.5, a reasonably good game for a young lad of, coming into what is potentially the biggest game he'll ever play until he hits, first team. full time. It's probably undeniably one of the biggest games he'll play till he's 21.
Right, so Ed has given Ashby an 8, so he's caught up. And Peach said, epic, I lost screaming at the telly due to Nob's epic. Epic, I see your noble and raise you young. Oh my days. This is what I'm saying, this makes me laugh. I have to say 8 as well. And the Peach says, nice raise Luke, let it ride, laugh out loud. Ed says Baptiste gets an 8 in his opinion.
Okay.
Which is, that's just a 0.5 difference from yours. Josiah says 7.3 out of 10. Very precise. Josiah, where have you been, man? Seriously.
Yeah,
my brother.
Where did he lose the 0.2 from? Like from my... what was the 0.2 for, Josiah? Anyway.
Right, Robert Titch agree with the Ashby header. He competed with Baptiste. Should have let Baptiste challenge. Yeah, and let him go in behind. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Robert. And thankfully, Areola he read the danger, and because I was looking at him, I see the guy through on goal. Then he swept up. Then they showed the replay, and I saw that was Ashby was at fault, but it will happen.
I mean, his quick thinking now was if he needed it, it was kind of his redemption for not reaching the ball for the goal. I mean, do you know what I mean? It kind of that completely kept us in the game at that point.
Right, everything kept losing the signal, so they're not sure of that's fine. And just going back to the goal, I don't put any blame on Areola. I think Yarmolenko should have shut him down. It's a wonderful strike, and the thing is, this is the same guy that in the quarterfinals of was it Champions League or was it Europa League last year? They was 2-0 down to Spurs, and Orsic scored a hat-trick, and 2 of them I think was wonderful goals, maybe all of them. So one of them was similar to that one there. So he's got it in his locker. He is their best and most threatening.
We should have closed him down a lot sooner.
Yeah. I've been busy. Okay, good. I'm assuming that's good busy. When you're busy, it should always be a good thing. But I'm glad you're here, man. I ain't heard from you for so long, and you've been here for day one. Right, let's move on then to. If you look, can always catch up as well. Right, we'll go to Aji Elise. Okay, yeah, I've put his name there. Aji Elise. Let me remove your last score, Budge. Oh, my days. Okay, let me remove this first. All right, what's your rating and, synopsis on Aji Elise?
Okay. Aji Elise. Elise, however.
Elise, yeah.
Again, he didn't embarrass himself in any way, shape or form. He gave a good account of himself. I felt he was quite strong. One that maybe we have kind of overlooked a little bit. Well, I certainly have overlooked him a little bit in my ventures into watching the under-23s and stuff. I've kind of I've been more looking at Baptiste and Longello, and I got to be honest with you. He proved to me tonight that he was worthy of his shot in the game tonight. I mean, he deserved his shot as much as any of the other young lads that started tonight. He gave a good account of himself, and for that, I've given him a 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Come on. 1 minute. Right, there we go. Okay, this was the last comment. It's from Robert. The goal was a fluke. The ball deflection off of Fauna. See, I didn't even see that, So, yeah, I didn't see, because I missed it.
Like off the bottom of his studs kind of thing.
And that's what's made it the dip. You know what, Robert? Yeah. Basically, I'm on the right channel on BT Sport, and it wasn't on. It was just some long advert. Then when the advert finally finished, I went through the channels, and we're not on. Come back. Anyway, I missed the first 4 minutes. So I didn't even see the goal. I saw it at half-time, but I didn't see it. I want to see Elise and Longello in the Premier League before we buy defenders in January. Josiah says 8 out of 10 for Elise, if that's how you pronounce it. Or
I can understand
and
that.
7.5 for... once you give your opinion on the next player, then I'll just give my thoughts on this particular player.
Okay.
Like I said, you can always catch up if we are behind because we don't want to make this too long. So, Budgie. Let me go to... Here he is. Mbule Emmanuel. What's his middle name?
Longello.
Okay, right. So, thoughts, please.
Okay, well, he was close to becoming my man of the match again tonight. I thought he was fantastic. It was only really the fact that Ashby had more of the play. He was a lot deeper. It was a lot deeper into their half, a lot more of the time than Longello was. So he was a little bit more dynamic. But he was absolutely quality. I mean, an 8 out of 10. He really did give me kind of a good feeling about our future. All 4 of them boys across the back 4 really gave a good account of themselves. Ashby more than all of them, slightly more than all of them, and Longello not far behind. So a good solid 8 out of 10, and one to watch. Really, he is one to watch. His left foot is quite sharp.
Right. So Josiah gave him a. Was you going to say something, Budge? Yeah,
I was actually going to say that my brother, as you know, is a Chelsea fan. I was watching with him, and he pointed out Longello and Ashby as the 2 standout players in the match.
Royce gave him a 7.5. Epic says the name on his shirt is Longello Mbule. Oh, see, when the app that I looked at, they had. So I don't even know. You know what? I would agree. I would agree with Robert here. I thought, I don't know much about the youth team players, and I don't claim to know. I don't know none of that research. No, I don't. But from just from initial looking impact, he stood out for me. I would say out of all the youngsters, he was probably the one that I thought, he's got something about him that potentially, you understand, I'm not going to jump on nothing and, hype up someone, but he looked good. And the game that, against the opposition that, they've got European pedigree, they needed to win that game. Well, going into it, they was playing to win. It weren't no sort of dead rubber. And I think from what I see of him, he's confident on the ball, he's calm on the ball, he knows how to push it into the forward players and with precision and that. So he's got a bit about him. And, for me, out of all the youngsters, he was the one that stood out the most for me. Right, Josiah gave him a 7 out of 10. Ed gave him 8 out of 10. What I saw of him, I think I would give him an 8 as well. Roy gave him a 7. Peach said he was quality. Budgie. Sableton gave him an 8. Potts looked bright when he came on. And yes, Titch good call. Big plays. Is that what Charlie Wolf says? Does he say big plays? Yeah, he does. Let me get rid of that. Does, and let's go to right. The 3 in the midfield is is more recognisable for us. We will start with. Let's go to. I'm picking the wrong things. Here he is. Sorry, you lot. Alex Crowell. What are you rating him? Let me get rid of your... Oh, no, it's already gone.
Okay. Alex Crowl. I saw some elements of what I would consider to be good play out of him. I saw 1 or 2 short passes from him also. He sold a couple of players short ball a few times during the match. He wasn't the only one that did that, by the way. Baptiste did it a few times as well. Hence the 7.5. But Alex Crowell, I felt that he's more experienced and a better player than the younger guys. And he was making some kind of academy mistakes, I felt. Although he wasn't particularly dangerous at any point. It wasn't anything he did wasn't particularly dangerous at any one point. But had any of those back passes been a back pass to, Areola, I think we would have been deeply in trouble. So, on the strength of that, I'm going to give Alex Crowell a 7.
7. Okay. Let's see what the people in the chat say. Okay, so disabled team 8. No, Hammerhead. Boom, read that. 2 right. Manny. Okay, right. Oh no. Manny 8. Who's that for? Who's Manny?
Well, Manuel Lanzini didn't play.
Yeah.
So.
Manny 8. Who's that? Who's that, Hammerhead? Yes, Peach. Western Random.
Oh,
says...
Longello.
Is that his name? Manny. Okay.
Emmanuel Longello.
Oh, Manny. Yes, right.
Yeah, Manny. Yeah, Longello.
Charlie taught it is. Yeah, I agree with the 8. I said as well. Okay, right. So, and I agree with Josiah. He's given a 5. And bear in mind, 5 is an average scoring. So, I would be between a 5 and 6 for Crowell. Hammerhead gave him a 6. He said he was poor. Roy gave him a 6.
I can understand.
Disabled team gave him a 7. Ed gave him a 7. Peach gave him a 5. And Manny. Oh yeah, sorry, Manny Longello. So bit of a mixture, 7, 6s, and 5s. I think I would probably place him as a 5.5, which is just above average. Which we all know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me find.
But I mean, even so, even though he didn't really play particularly well, he was kind of, half running the show in midfield alongside Noble, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? He was helping to direct the younger lads behind him and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I saw on 1 or 2 occasions, he had his hand on one of their shoulders or something, leading up to one of the Zagreb corners and things, So, he played his part, but he didn't really play part, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sorry, let me try and find. Fuck's sake. 1 minute. Stop. Okay, Noble. Yes, I didn't even. Yeah, that was a bit of potluck. Noble. What are you saying for Noble?
Okay, Mark Noble. Captain Fantastic. Listen, we've all been critical of Noble's speed and endurance these days. And we're all critical, but we all know that at his age and the amount of time he's spent giving 110% to this club, we kind of forgive it, and we kind of forgive David Moyes for using him. But on tonight's occasion, I felt that he was incredibly good. I didn't, there were 1 or 2 errors in him tonight, but I thought he played really well. He was there when we needed him defensively. He was not completely roaring, but he was barking out orders to the back 4. And as I said, Alex Crowl was kind of backing that up. And I felt that he had a reasonably good game. And, for the fact that he gives 110% of what he's got inside him on every single game, he gets a 7.5 for me.
7.5 for Nobes. Right, let me go to the comments. 1 second. Right, so players. Okay. I just seen Royce. 1 minute. Manny Longer. Right, no, here we go. Peach is the first one. All right, Pete. He gave him a 4. Hammerhead says mine said Josiah says 7 out of 10. Roy says 3, never led by example. Hammerhead, players at Noble and Yarma, I feel we're holding back the youngsters tonight. This is funny because there's all different opinions, and which is what I love about football, and everybody's entitled to an opinion.
I got to be honest with you, I felt exactly the same way as well.
7. Disabled team, right.
Yeah.
Eamon says, youngsters done really well.
I did feel that it was the junior squad members that actually kept our end up, if you like, I felt that we were more reliant upon the younger players than we were the more experienced players. Yarmolenko went missing quite a lot during the game. Vlasic. Well, anyway, let's not get onto that right now.
Right, Eamon says he's going to give all of the youngsters a 7. Felt sorry for Sonny Perkins as he feels he had no support, but he was always trying. He did get knocked off the ball a bit too easy. You can half expect that. All youngsters get a 7. Thought Crowell let him down, always seemed to be stretching for the ball. So that's talking about Noble. Noble was bad. Ed gave him a 6.5. Eamon's given Yarmo already. He said Yarmo gets a 5. Eamon is not messing around. Danny Jackson says, with that many youngsters on the pitch, I wouldn't want anyone else in Noble's spot. Probably had more impact than we realise. Maybe. Sorry, 4. Sorry, didn't have the up and down anymore. This rain, bro. Okay, Dax. Okay, even everyone. Eamon says Noble 6, Crowl 7. I can't wait for the Vlasic vote. Areola 7 didn't really do anything wrong and was lucky with the free goal. That's from Eamon, so he's just catching up. 2 more. Hammerhead says Vlasic can do after tonight, and Pete says yes, Eamon. Right, so let me remove this and get the final person. Normally I name all this, but I think this is, please. Yes, it is. Pablito, 4 nows. Rating and why, please, Budgie.
Okay. I'll open up with the rating for now. It gets a 7 for me.
7?
Yes, I think that it was nowhere near one of his better games. He tried hard, don't get me wrong. And, he was, obviously he was trying to shepherd the younger players as well. But I think that other players around him kind of let him down a bit. And he sold a few passes short as well. So on the strength of that, he's just going to get a 7 for me. And I think, for me, it's one of his most disappointing performances this season. So
7 for 4 now.
And I love Pablo. One of my favourite players at the club.
Hammer says out of sorts tonight for Pablito. He gave him a 5, which is average. 4 now is 8. Best player on the pitch from Luke. Josiah agrees with Luke and gave him an 8. Any more ratings, you lot? While we're waiting, I would say, yeah, I think he had a decent game. No one really played, especially the senior players. None of them played at their optimum. But I think, from what I saw, Fornell's, had a steady game. So I would probably give him a 7 as well. Roy gave him a 7. Disabled team gave him a 7. Amos says, yes, Peach, hope all is good. Oh, Holly Miles. Vashtek. 6.5 is a bit harsh, laugh out loud. I don't know if Holly's new. If you are, welcome.
Welcome,
Holly. I think so. At least Pablo made an attempt to stop their goal while Yama just watched it. Yeah. Ed says 6.7 for 4 nows. And Robert says, maybe Vlasic is a bit like Hilaire. We are not playing to his strength. Moyes obviously seen something. We definitely didn't play to Hilaire's strengths. And that's because of, maybe the system and the players we had. But I did say in a video once he'd left that, he will flourish at Ajax because of the style of play. And, that's proven. And probably a lot of other people echoed that. It's just unfortunate, the money that we lost in him. I think Funo's done okay. I thought he was taken off at halftime to be saved. So do I, for the game at the weekend, 7. Yeah, I said that on camera, Ed, and you was there. I think that, between him and Ben Rama, it's just like half each rather than full 90 for the, the key players. Right, let's go to I can't see this man. Alright, I think this is him. Yarmolenko. Let me remove this. What are you saying for Yarmolenko, Budgie? banners.
Right. Well,
That sigh.
excuse me for 1 second.
Thanks for 14 people watching. For this channel, that's quite a lot, man.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Big
tuning in.
yourselves up, everybody. Yarmolenko. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not his biggest critic either. I'm kind of the impression that, when he first came to the club, he looked like an exciting player that I really look forward to seeing massive things from. And unfortunately, they haven't emanated. And tonight was a massive, massive nod in the direction of how he's been playing all season. He was on for the full, 80 minutes was it he was on for?
I checked.
86 minutes, I think it was even. And, I think for about 11 minutes of the game, he made an appearance, if you like.
Yeah, 87.
I think, 87 minutes. And, for 76 minutes of that, he was missing. He wasn't really there. So for Yarmolenko, unfortunately, Mr. Yarmolenko, you're only going to get a 5.5.
5.5. Let me just whip that one up. Comments, I'll get to them. I can't see them on screen at the minute. Let me just do a 5.5 because I don't think we've got one of them. 5.5. There we go. Boom. 5.5 for Yama. Comments. Let me go back to where we started, which I just decides.
It's all right, bruv. I know exactly how you're feeling right now.
Yeah. I think no, sorry. All right, here we go. It's here. Yama gave less of a shit that time. I ate a 5 steak. See, this shit is funny. They Disabled Team gave him a 6. Josiah gave him a 0 out of 10. It'd be funny if the players watch this. There is a report that Yarmo wants out. Personally, I never thought he was in. Laugh out loud. Yeah, out of what? 4. He doesn't want to be at West Ham anymore. It's a shame because you think, be professional and put some, I don't know, value on yourself, and doesn't have to be like I don't mean it as a figure. I mean as in the clubs that come in for you. Yeah, carry on.
When you think about it, Titch, kind of like within our club particularly, I think Dimitri Payet kind of set a precedent that a lot of other players are following. I don't want to play for you, so I'm not going to play. I'll sit in the changing rooms and I'll sulk. I'm a bigger man than the club. No, you're not. No, you're not. The biggest thing out there at this moment in time is West Ham United. If you can't play for West Ham United, then you don't deserve a place on the squad.
Exactly.
Simple.
I think, Moyes used him for the benefit of the team rather than benefit of him. We needed to put a squad out and,
Yeah, and we needed to have what people would look as first team players out there. And, because Yarmolenko is one of our senior and one of our longest standing, transferred players, he's got the nod tonight. But unfortunately, I think 5.5 was a bit generous for him, if I'm honest. But
you can always change it. Ed gave him a 5.
No, I think 5.5 will do.
Amen. Love. And Robert says Yarmo is so one-footed for a professional player. It's not good enough. He gave him a 5. Hammerhead, Yarmolenko, so long, farewell. Arrivederci, goodbye. That is Arrivederci, isn't it?
Yeah, Arrivederci. Yeah,
must be.
And you've also got to say ciao.
Ciao, ciao, bella.
Ciao.
Hammerhead gave him a 2. Right, have to disagree.
Oh no, that's
Yarmo
was saying. Sorry, that was
that's German.
Which is, and it's not spelt right. I couldn't see it properly on my small screen.
Oh, is that what he meant? I didn't know if he meant Arrivederci.
No, Arrivederci works just as well though, because that's Italian, isn't it?
Italian. Yarmo was lightweight from the day he joined. He had a couple of tricks, but he either got knocks off the ball if he wasn't losing it. Hammerhead. Okay, sorry, he's laughing at him. Roy, professional footballers that stop playing for clubs need to be left to rot in reserves. Yeah, he didn't look, interested. Yarmo does well internationally because to be fair, his national team mainly plays amateurs who make him look good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eamon. I must start. Well, that heel injury now too slow. It is spelt right, so it must be Arrivederci, because this is Auf Wiedersehen.
No, Auf Wiedersehen is spelled AUF.
Yeah, this one is right. Danny's one. Auf Wiedersehen. Pet. Remember that show?
Yeah,
that's how you spell.
Auf Wiedersehen. I did a little bit of German, didn't I? Not much. Only about that much. Yeah. Well, I worked out there a couple of times.
Right. So we have 2 more players. Let me find. The first one is Nikola Vlasic. I know some people have been waiting for this one. Let me remove 9 Jama is Shiza. What are you saying for Vlasic?
Have you got a contact number for him so that he can give me some points? Because he was poor. Okay. Look, he came on and he did do a bit of running and this and that. And unfortunately, that photograph doesn't do him very much justice either, because in that picture, he just reminds me of Arnie Arnautovic. Do you know what I mean? He kind of got that. Yeah. But listen, I don't actually know why he was on the pitch for so long tonight. I thought he was poor. I thought that every touch he had was either intercepted by Zagreb player, or was sold short, or was into no man's land, or was too heavy for the player he was trying to reach. I think he probably made 3 successful passes in the whole game, and that's just guesswork, but he probably attempted about 8 or 9 or 10 even, and I think maybe 3 of them were successful passes. And on the strength of that, Vlasic gets 5.5.
5.5?
Yeah.
5.5 from Budgie. Yeah. And in the comments, what is this? Several team says, for the money paid, 0. I think, okay, yeah, sorry. Yep, right. Minus 69 for Vlasic. He had a whole 90 minutes and did sweet FA. Russian mob had the 2 Davids over big time. Boy, I hope it's not another West Ham signing like that. When we sell him for like 4 mil. Felipe Anderson, Haller, like
another Haller thing, yeah.
Roy says, I've been one of them. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say Sofian Faguli was a little bit like that as well when he came
he
came on a reasonably good price.
Yeah,
it was a reasonably good price, but it's still a lot of money because he was considered fairly unknown. And he came in, he didn't really do a great deal. Yeah, he had 1 or 2 decent games, but I think we sort of basically gave him away at the end of the season when he left. I think we basically gave him away.
Felipe Anderson was the worst bit of business ever. I have been one of them has been giving him time, but after today his time has passed. He's 2. I'm still sort of that mentality, Roy, where some players, like, if you think about it, I think for the first 6 to even 12 months or 4 hours, he was poor, man. He looked like a kid playing adult football. But look at him now. I'm just hoping that he does come good. But he hasn't shown me anything to suggest that as of yet. But I've got to try and remain positive, man. Right.
I mean, just before we do move on, Titch, let me just ask you a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you had a player that you'd seen under your wing, if you'd seen a player that wanted to come and play for you, who was, showing promise in the league that he's in, but then he comes to a league that you're a coach in, which is a slightly better quality of football than that. How would you approach, getting this player ready for this kind of step up? Because this is a step up for Vlasic, and I don't think it's all his fault.
It's a hard one for Moyes because, at the end of the day, Moyes' job is to win games or win points. So he can't sometimes give him the time that it might need to bed him in. So the only thing you can do is, when it comes to training, you might, when you do this team v that team, is try and get him a bit more involved with the stronger team. Get him on where you can. Like in the games, like let's say it's 2-0 and I don't know. It's hard to call it, but you need to just get him minutes.
2-0, 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, or it's trying to find games that are of importance that you can start him in, like so that he feels that, okay, you understand. So it's sometimes you got to take a risk, and the risk would be, let's say we're playing. Who's the worst team at the minute in the league? I don't know. Is it Norwich? Is it Burnley? But all right, let's just say Norwich. Yeah. Let's say you play Norwich at home. They've had a poor run. We're on a fantastic run. That game where you might, one, it's a curveball for the other team because they're expecting the usual suspects for us. But then it might make him think, oh, he's picked me. And, that is a risk, obviously. But I'm saying, like, things like that is the risk and the reward is that it might be the catalyst for him to feel he's part of it. Because you got to remember, in the psychological part of this is that in his mind, he knows he's not one of the main starting players. He knows that. So he's come from a team where he is. You got to remember, this guy is very, very good for Croatia as well. So he has got it in him, but I think, a lot of it is psychological where he knows that he's not part of the thing. But games like this, it's down to him to, just like, oh my days, you see Vlasic.
Do you think he's being played out of position?
Yes, I think that he's more a 10 or a false 9 or whatever. And like putting him out wide and that just to stick him out wide is, they're two completely different positions. So that might be also part of the issue.
Right.
Okay. Hammerhead said Vlasic gets a 2. Obviously, Sullivan paying off some sort of debt or bribe to the mob for Vlasic. Something dodgy with his deal and smells off, mate. You never know the politics, and I think we'd be hard pressed to find someone who would give us 4 million for Vlasic right now. It's true, which is worrying. Vlasic was worth way more when he was still unknown.
And what did we pay for him?
30 mil. I think it's 30 and maybe up to 33. The youngest made Vlasic look terrible today. Youngster, sorry. Right. If Vlasic is 30 mil, Longello is 70 mil. Oops, I keep skipping on the wrong comment. Eamon, personally, I don't think Moyes had the right mix with youngsters and experienced players today. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the youngsters need to be playing with an experienced player next to them, which is true. It was a lot. But I think we've done it because of our injury list. I don't think he would have done that. Eamon gave Moyes a 6. I don't think he would have done it if we had a fully fit squad. No chance.
No.
Could Vlasic be the last straw on the camel's back where Sullivan went over Moyes' head, and maybe that's why he brought in Rob Newman? I don't know. That will all be revealed.
Could you just do a couple more comments? Because I just really need to go and attend to something quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
No problem.
Would that be okay? Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool. What I will do, you lot, is, until Budgie comes. We've only got a little way to go, you lot. Let me see who we got in the chat. Who's here today? Hammerhead is here. Big up Hammerhead. Let me remove the banner. As I said in the watch along, I will start doing a few more lives, and some of them might just be talking me plus one, or just me and just general talking, and you lot could have your say on whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be like straight after a game or someone's injured. Let's just chat. That's really and truly on YouTube. If you do want to eventually get your subs up, you need to go live more. So I'll be doing not a lot, but there will be more sort of lives during the week, not every day obviously, but okay, Budgie's back.
My apologies, my back gate was banging in the wind, and one of my son's friends has left it open and banging, and I could hear it earlier, and then I realised what it was, so I just sat down quickly.
That's all right. All right, so the last player in the starting 11 was Sonny Perkins. Thoughts, Budgie?
Okay, Sonny Perkins, right. Well, when he came on for those few short minutes in his last game, which was the Genk game. Was it?
Yeah. No,
He came on.
Vienna.
No, it wasn't Vienna. Sorry, Vienna.
Vienna,
My
yeah.
apologies. He came on for the last sort of 10 minutes or so and actually looked really good. And I thought, I was, as you know, I was calling for him to start the following week in the midweek game against Brighton. Yeah, that was last week. Yeah, so I was calling for him to start that. But, you know, rightfully so. Yeah, David Moyes has his own plans. But when I saw that he was starting tonight, I was quite excited. And, you know, he did give me cause to kind of, you know, justify. He gave me justification for my calling for him, if you know what I mean. I felt he gave a really good account of himself. The only thing lacking in his game tonight was a finish. And that's, you know, for me, he done an equal job to anything that Antonio's been doing in the last few weeks, in my opinion. And, yeah, he got one or two lovely balls across the box where there wasn't anyone to finish it, or the keeper might have reached it or something. But I felt he gave a really good account of himself. And I've given him an 8.
An 8? Very.
You know, bearing in mind, obviously, you know, the boy's 17 years old. He's got a very, very little experience in any kind of major competition like this. And as I said, you know, he had 10 minutes or so in the Vienna game. And, you know, he gave a brilliant account of himself. And, you know, he kind of commanded his position. You know, when you expected him to be there, he was there. And I felt he was good. Really enjoyed watching him.
So, yeah, you lot, what's your score for Perkins? Right, Hammerhead says, Vlasic so frustrating, he makes me want to snap a bitch. It's all good. I just watched my bro Titch talk about our mighty Hammers and our brilliant performance tonight from our youngsters on the pitch. Spitting fire. You know, yeah, Hammerhead, you know, all of you lot, man. You lot, I like you lot, man. Right, Cams is in the building. You lot, Scouse Hammer. I think he's at work, so he's obviously popped in. Big up yourself.
Good evening, Cam.
Right, so you lot, we're going to do the last one, and then I haven't made up the thing for the 2 late subs, but, you know, Budgie can still give his take on it. Let me just go to the last sub who, you know, played the whole 45. He came on for 4 nows, and that was Said Ben Rama. Budge?
So Ben Rama, well, again, another one of my favourite players at the club at this moment in time. I think he's got a heck of a lot of promise, a lot of talent, and, you know, I kind of agree with one or two other guys that I've spoken to in recent months, weeks, that he has had a little bit of a lull in his performances and his energy rate, but he is starting to pick it up again. And I felt that when he came on, he did change the dynamic of the game, and I felt we were a little more effective in the final third, although we were still lacking the final ball. Ben Rama's attempts were kind of, they kind of appeared like they had come out of desperation. But even so, he did try. And, you know, on the strength of that, Syed Ben Rama gets a 7 for me. Because, you know, there was, as I said, there was no final ball and, you know, no assist. And he only had half a game, you know, so I think 7's a fair shout for him, really.
Okay. Right, let's see. Right, Budgie said, Cam says, hi, Budgie, mate, hope you're well.
I'm very well, thank you.
Hammerhead says, what a weird series of events, really, when you look at it today. They scored an exact replica of Mastroku's goal, and it's something miraculous for that like that for them to beat our young kids. I'm proud. Yeah, definitely proud of the young boys tonight. Peach says, yes, Cam, hope you're well, my G. Hammerhead says, big up, Cam. Big ups, Cam. Yes, Pete, not bad, mate. How you doing, kiddo? Right, table team gave 4 hours a 7, same as you. Hammerhead gave him a 6.5. Roberts was trying to a bit too early. His attempts were way off. He gave him a 6.5. So very close to what you gave Budge. Right, so I haven't got pictures made up from. What about the 2 subs that came on? Tell me the names of them, please, Budge, and just give your ratings.
So the first one that came on was young. I can't remember his first name now. Potts, Steve Potts' son.
Yeah.
Freddie
Dan?
Potts. Freddie Potts.
Freddie, that's it.
Freddie.
Yep.
When Freddie Potts came on, I think more as a token gesture to him and his dad, more than anything else. And they brought on young Forson, the young lad that we've got in our under-23 midfield. Now, he's only a young lad. He looks like he's about 15, but I think he's about 18 or 19. He's the smallest of the youth lads that went on today. But I think he had quite a big presence while he was on there. He had a good chance for getting in on goal while he was on the pitch, and I felt that he gave a good account of himself. But they were only on the pitch for a few short minutes, and in that time, I felt that they gave a good account of themselves while they were there. They didn't really do anything special, but as I said, Forson did have a chance of getting in on goal. So for Potts, I will give him a standard 5.5 because he appeared, and fair play to him. And for Forson, I'll give him a 6 because he got himself into a decent position.
Okay. People in the chat. Okay, right. So Roy as Benny and Ram boom. Right. Roy says sorry. Sonny 8, Benny 6. That's from Roy. I'm brand new, Cam. You got to watch the match. I don't know if he did. I think the system didn't help us today. There was no intensity. It was almost like Moyes keeping them on tight rein and made them concentrate more on defending than attacking. Yeah, it was very, very flat, man. Potts looked bright. Hammerhead gave him a 6. Forson looked okay, but not see much from him. Gave him a 5.5. And Cam says only the first half, mate. Unfortunately, they can't really give. Yeah, see. So yeah, it won't let me put his image in it because it's full up in StreamYard. I'm going to delete loads of stuff. But what about David Moyes? What would you give him? I can't put him on the screen. He's not in here. What would you give him? For
David Moyes,
this evening.
Okay, well, on reflection of everything that I know about how the game went now, I'm gonna rate David Moyes a 9.
Okay.
I think he was brave to put a under-23s or a youth back 4 in place. Although the 4 guys that did play have all played well together in the youth setup. I mean, let's not be shy about it. They are in first place in Premier League 2. So these guys are no mugs. So for David Moyes to use them all together in one hit, I believe was a very brave move and, quite a maverick decision, if you know what I mean. It's kind of, let's blood them all together. Let's see how they can cope in this kind of game. And, I think they coped really well. And I'd like to give the 4 boys at the back there an overall rating, if you don't mind, as well.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I'd like to give them, as a joint unit, I'd like to give them a 9. Because I thought they were great.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought they were great. And, David Moyes, as I said, I give him a 9 as well. because he was brave. He was quite maverick tonight, and you know, the only reason he don't get attendance is because he didn't wear the shirt and the suit.
You look, I've got yeah. Oh, I didn't put Budgie's one up. Budgie.
Mate,
right.
You can see me on screen. They don't have to see my name up there.
Right, Moyes. 4 out of 10. Wrong decision making again for the sub, and wrong senior players started. That's from Hammerhead. 4 out of 10. Eamon Green. I need to make you a little name badge. Not exactly brave, and you can afford to lose the game, to be honest. Let me. Anybody else on Moisey? 3 more. Robert says, I would give Moyes an A. He should have made subs early, especially Armour. Peach says, okay, let me read it here. For the youngsters, it was good seeing them given an outing, and it was lovely seeing them with their families at the end of the match. What a big day from that. They will never forget. Well done. Hamed, in my opinion, Moyes has been making the wrong decisions of late. Other than Chelsea, where we got lucky, I believe it's all been wrong. And Peach gave him a 9 out of 10. Oh, well done, Moyes. 9 out of 10 for Budgie too. Ed says, Moyes, I need to make you a nice little name badge. Right, so yeah, we wrapped this up, and this was, for me, probably a harder one for Budgie, because the game itself wasn't great, man. The changes and the fact that we'd won and all that, they were, for me, they didn't really give us anything to get excited about, as a team.
I mean, hearing you say that kind of is true, but it did give us something really big to think about. Them young lads that stepped in tonight, none of them embarrassed themselves, and it's given us a bit of excitement for the future of the club. I mean, I know we all want results now, and we need results now, obviously, but I think that was a brave decision on Moyes' behalf. I mean, I get your point, Eamon, that it wasn't a necessary to win it, but I kind of think that even so, he could have opened himself up to an absolute drubbing by having 4 young kids in the back, and it didn't happen. So a brave decision, and I feel that he's achieved everything he set out to achieve tonight, and that is to have a look at these young lads and see if he can use them in this December. I think that's what he's done. He's put them out there as an audition for the rest of this month. That's my belief.
All right, so Anne Evans and the other one must be spamming, because they've both come in and said Vash Tech. So that must just be yeah. Right, Roy gave Moyes a 7. Danny, I'm happy with the team selection today. The only way to really see what they can do is to play them. If not today, when? 9 for Moyes. I have because of the circumstances of the injuries, I've got no problem with his selection. I would have if, everybody was fit. Even though we'd already qualified, I still would have wanted to see a more experienced team. But I just think that his hand was forced, I believe, because of the injuries that we have.
Yeah.
Hammerhead says, let me read.
And I also feel that the stadium was really quiet tonight, and
yeah.
It didn't feel like that they had got behind the youngsters. Do you know what I mean? And I think that could have affected the performances a little.
Yeah,
and I think maybe if the crowd had been singing and cheering and chanting a little bit more, that maybe it may have spurred on a slightly better performance from certain players, and maybe we might have even ended up getting a draw or a win out of it. So, I think I'm going to give the fans a 6 out of 10 tonight, I'm afraid, because I don't think they helped the side at all tonight, And the away fans, all 77 of them, and there was only 77. That's what the commentator said.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them an 8 out of 10 because they done their part. All 77 of them, down to a man. So there it is.
Hammer says, props to all the supporters who went to the game tonight and got soaked waiting to leave and going through Stratford to the train station. Let's pray they get home not too wet. Cam says, Yarmolenko needs to go in January. The wages he's on are ridiculous and he just doesn't look interested. Let me scroll down. Noble was poor today. Crowell was the only senior player who stood out for me. Eamon says,
Okay.
These 4 youngsters can be used in the first team but not together, but playing alongside. Yeah, but like I said, I understand why he done that today because it was out of necessity. Yeah. I feel.
And as I said, they're used to playing as a unit, and that's why I gave them as a unit collectively. I gave them a 9 because they're used to doing it. They're holding their own at the PL2, and he put them all in together, and they played as a unit. I thought they were exceptional.
And hypothetically speaking, if that goal don't go in, then it's a 0-0 game. They get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Hammerhead says just the wrong senior players started with the academy boys today. Held them back, in my opinion, which is a fair comment.
One or two. Yep, 1 or 2 senior players.
Yes, Cam.
Obviously, I would prefer to have seen, Fredericks than Yarmolenko even. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if he's still injured because he weren't even on the bench, I don't think.
Yeah, but I think, there would have been a lot more effort and a lot more end product as well with him.
I see.
Or even, the other guy, what's his face? Sufal. Even, Sufal up the front, up there where Yarmolenko was playing. I thought, even he could have done a better job, But
right, we've got a special guest in the chat, which is Forge from Iron. Big up Gatesy and big up Duke.
Good evening, Duke. Good evening, Gatesy. Welcome to you guys.
I don't get it, Peach, because he's a great player for his country. Clout and Blue. Who this? Anyone going to mention how Baptiste looks like a clone of Ogbonna with hair? This man gets paid more than Kufa. I've had enough of him.
So,
Lanzini.
guys, I chose Harrison Ashby as my man of the match. So while Titch is going through these,
I've got through them
more comments in as to who you believe was the man of the match. As I said, mine was Harrison Ashby. I felt that he was the outstanding player on the day today, and I would like to see him a little bit more in the first team setup. I think with the fact that he plays out on the right there, that that may, when Johnson comes back, that may free him up to support Creswell out on the left that way. So that's my belief anyway. So
Eamon Ashby's a very attacking right back, but it was like he was told not to venture forward. Keep an eye on this kid, star of the future, in my humble opinion. I said this, I don't know if it was on the watch along on that. I said, maybe it was on here, I said, people I did say Forge from Iron, they know about all of these, these potentials and all of that, you understand? So sometimes I just need to listen to their videos and then I hear about these players. But, I don't know about these players. I heard Ashby and Elise say their names. I hadn't heard of the Emmanuel guy, and he looked good for me. Harrison Ashby, man of match, snapping the corner flag. Full Tremine said, I agree, Budgie, Ashby, man of match. If you're not subscribed to Full Tremine, which I think all of you lot will be, then, go and check them out and subscribe.
And also, don't forget to like this stream and subscribe to Hammers Fans United if you haven't already. Don't forget to do that, guys.
I agree with Hammerhead. I would go with Longello as my man of the match. I think he looked quality.
He was very close to it for me as well, But,
and Peach as well.
I think for me, as I said, Harrison Ashby was the standout player. Longello was great. He was absolutely on the money. But for me, Ashby just slightly nudged it. Just slightly.
What's up with all the players pouting though? I didn't even notice. I was a lot focused here and yeah. But some of them, Potts looks like an Essex Atawi boy, so that's probably why he's pouting.
Yeah. Well, he's where was it they said he was from now? It was somewhere around near the stadium. He's an East End boy, isn't he? But I mean, his dad, Steve Potts. We all remember him, don't we? Surely,
of course.
Well, us older guys would anyway. Steve Potts was a great player when he was with us.
Yeah,
I loved him. I thought Potts was brilliant, and hopefully his son's gonna do something equally as good as well. And it's kind of our club is a club steeped in family history as well as footballing history. I mean, you got to look at the Lampard family.
Yeah.
As much as we dislike the fact that Lampard went on to become the player he was elsewhere, he was still his father's son, and his father was a one club man, wasn't he? Wasn't he? Yeah, Frank Lampard Senior. I think he was a one club man as far as his playing days were concerned. And then obviously, you got David and Alvin Martin, or Alvin and David Martin, and now we've got Steve Potts and young Henry Potts. No, Freddie Potts.
Freddie.
Yeah. So yeah, and I would imagine. Well, the Ferdinand family. Rio, Anton, and Les. They're all part of the same family. So the club's steeped in family history. I think, as I said, maybe his inclusion in the last few minutes may have had a little cheeky wink towards Steve Potts, because he's still part of our youth setup as well, isn't he?
Yep.
Steve Potts. I think he's the under-19s head coach or something of that nature. Head coach or manager, one or the other. Yeah, I think it's head coach. But it's all good stuff. I love the fact that that there is a family history as well as footballing history with this club.
Fulch reminds us my French bulldog is trying to ponce my pork casserole, and I thought exactly what Hammerhead put. He put, is that some sort of euphemism?
Euphemism.
I was thinking, I was going to say this. Frank Sinner also played for Southend.
Pork casserole. Yeah, okay.
Dan Potts is now playing at Luton and 9 goals.
So you got a Frenchie, have you, Gatesy? All right, okay. I do like a little Frenchie.
Steve Potts
was
known
the
for
dogs that I have, mate. Frenchie's about the size of a 8-week-old puppy in my breed, so 10-week-old pup.
Sonny Perkins' dad was a player too.
Just saying.
Right, so you're gonna. Oh, he said Sonny Perkins' dad was a player too.
Yeah, he was. I'm not sure if he was a West Ham player, though, was he?
I don't know. He just said he was.
Can't remember.
I think ex-pro.
Yeah.
What?
I can't recall anybody that played for us called Perkins, if I'm honest.
No. I think Declan Perkins. Well, Declan Perkins. We'll get ready to wrap this up, you lot. I have to say thanks again for tuning in for the watch along, which was, like I said, quite a flat game. And once again, tuning in for this, it is quite late. But yeah, thanks for everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's commented. There might be people that's watching and not commenting, and I do that on a lot of videos. So, you might be just supporting in the background. I play for lower league teams. I'm proud of Ireland. But yeah, I will. I'm trying to think what my next. So Gatesy, if you're still here, the next time I do a watch along, would you be up for doing the player ratings? Because I'm trying to get someone different on every time I do it. I'm not doing every game. The games that I can do, I will do. But sometimes I'll be out of the house or whatever. Thanks, Titch. Unrivaled content. Big up your. Let's see. Big up your chest. Now you too, Hamed, man. Seriously. But yeah, anybody in the chat and Gatesy, if anyone wants to do the player rating show, then it's open to anybody that wants to do it, basically. Anything to say, Budgie? Because we'll wrap this up.
I just want to say thanks for the invite to come on and do this, Titch. I really appreciate it, and everything you do for us on Football Unfocused and on West Ham Random and stuff. I really enjoyed this, and I enjoy having more focus on the game when I'm watching it. When I'm watching a game, I'm really buzzing. I just want to run around the pub and scream and shout and holler and celebrate like I've just scored the goal. But when it comes to doing something like this, I'm more focused on the game. I'm paying a lot more attention to it, So I want to thank you for that as well, because I've actually had a good chance to watch some young, decent players in the first team game, and I've really enjoyed it and enjoyed giving my views and comments on the game as well. I want to thank everybody that's watched, and everyone that supports us all. And like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe to Hammers Fans United. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. And Eamon has given us a bit of info on Declan Perkins, so thanks for that. You lot, thanks for tuning in, and some of you lot have been here for all of the watch along and then all of this, and I fully appreciate that. Like I said, check out West Ham Random, check out Force from Iron, check out the Disabled team. Nice one, Gatesy. If you lot can, I'd appreciate that. And Cam is going back to work. See you later, Cam. Hammerhead, come on your hands. But thanks everyone. Like I said, those channels, Force from Iron, West Ham Random, Disabled team. And
could I give a little mention out to that thing that we spoke about earlier, or do you want me to not do that?
No, it's fine. You can do what you. No, it's fine.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so today I recorded a little pre-recorded show that I've had this idea of. It's called Tales of the Unaccepted. It'll be on West Ham Random, and it'll be on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. England time. That's it. That's all I'm telling you. It's a new concept. Have a look. I think you'll enjoy it.
That's on West Ham Random, which, I'm assuming everybody here is subscribed, but you never know. There might be one person that isn't. Come get us a triple cheeseburger, mate. So, you lot, thanks again, man. Like I said, I will do, try and think of some, like, a once-a-week live that is, whatever that may be, just so we can talk and interact, basically. But I'm going to do a little bit more lives, but not a lot. You won't find that. But thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And we will see you in the next one. Come on, your hands into the last 16 of Europe. Ain't got to play no Champions League dropouts. It's all gravy.